And Ron Wiley introduced me as this Redhead Haole from Kaimiki High School, exact words, that's gonna knock your socks off. Featuring a Redhead Haole, lead Hawaiian vocalist that is gonna knock your socks. Oh, bro, I heard the word Haole and I lost it, bro. I couldn't even hear. I was watching myself sing, but bro, I was like, I just broke down crying. Like, I was like so mad, and I told my dad, bro, I'm gonna beat that guy up.
It's almost like you're the Hawaiian version of Eminem.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
and I just thought about that right now.
He looked at me, he goes, Kelly, are you ready? I'm like, yes, Peter.
Sat up straight.
It's Peter Moon, bro. You know what I mean, bro? This is Peter Moon. We're gonna jump on the reggae train. We're gonna ride it till we go insane.
Velina mai kako, welcome to Keep It Aloha, a podcast that keeps it aloha by jumping on a reggae train and riding it until we go insane. I'm your host Kamaka, and before you ask what you're talking about, I promise you I do like the reggae beat. But before we introduce our legendary guests, I want to remind you all to head over to patreon.com/kamakadias if you love this podcast and want to support me for as little as $3 a month. Also, consider leaving this podcast a review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts and subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. I read every comment and review, and it means so much to me. Last thing before we get started, I want to say a huge haole lahano, happy birthday to my older brother, Micah. I know you are listening to this, and I just want to say mahalo for being a great older brother, husband, and father, providing our family with Cunny Girl and Peely. They are so cute. Have a good one, brother. If anyone listening knows anyone with a birthday coming up on a Thursday when our episodes are released, feel free to DM me for a birthday shout out. Okay, let's introduce our guest. This podcast is brought to you by Ideate Studios, a for-rent commercial soundstage at the Entrepreneur Sandbox here in the heart of Kaka'ako. Whether making a movie, commercial, music, photography, or a podcast, check out Ideate Studios for your next digital media production. And if you're a nonprofit, be sure to ask about Ideate community discounts. For more info on Ideate or to book the studio, visit ideatestudios.org. Our guest today is a Native-Hawaiian Portuguese singer, songwriter, and ukulele superstar from the island of Oahu. This husband and father of three is most known for being the founder and lead singer of the legendary band Kapena, which he formed with our guest as a lead singer and two Tongan brothers. He is a multiple Nā Hōkū Hanohano award winner and has over 20 CDs. Today you can see him on stage with his wife, who is a wonderful soprano vocalist and hula dancer, and their kids, who make up the powerhouse core of today's version of Kapena. They are also sometimes accompanied by their grandkids, who play music and dance hula as well. He has been bringing the feel-good island music to us for over 30 years, and I am so stoked to talk stories with him today. His name is Boy Delima. Aloha, Kelly Boy.
Hey,
welcome to the podcast here at Ideate Studios. How you doing?
Thank you for that introductory, bro. That was so cool. You can jump on a reggae train.
Had to get a little creative with that.
I love it, bro.
Yeah.
That was cool. Yeah, I'm doing good. Good to be. Thank you for having me.
Yes, it's good to meet you in person. We actually were just introduced to each other a week ago.
I know.
Very abruptly while working on this really huge project that I want to talk about.
It was incredible.
Yes, and I just want to say mahalo for, being so responsive and jumping on that. So what we're talking about is this video that we made for IAM Tongi, who is on American Idol and just probably one of the best contestants they've ever had. I mean, if you haven't seen him, you're probably living under a rock. I mean, especially if you're from Hawaii. He's just absolutely killing it. There's a huge concert celebration. Basically, they said if he makes it into the top 3, American Idol is going to send them home for this huge homecoming parade and concert. But, American Idol isn't funding anything. So, it's up to the community and everybody to put it on. So we wanted to guarantee his spot in the top 3. I'm sure he would have made it anyways. But we wanted to make sure the awareness was there. We would get a lot more donations. So I thought of this idea to make this video with all the Hawaii musicians, as many as I could get, singing Take Me Home Country Road by Brada Is, and it turned out to be way better than I expected.
Right.
So instead of like Country Road Take Me Home to the place, I said Country Road Take IAM home to the place he belongs. In Kauku with his mama. So I changed the lyrics, and I was able to connect with Kimie and Imo Garza. but I reached out to them to be in it. So I was like, hey, Kimia, you want to be on this project I thought of? And she called me, and it sounded like a way bigger idea than I expected. I didn't realize how hard it was going to be. I thought it was like, hey, you just send me a selfie video of you singing one line and I'll throw it all together. It was a lot more than that. So I ended up working with Kimia Inimua to produce it. We got an editor. We got the funding for it. I used all my connections. Dylan connected me with you and some other people. And we all did that within 72 hours.
That was killer,
which is the craziest thing, because I was up to like 3 a.m. the first night. Imo was up to 3 a.m. the next day. Kavika Lopez, the editor, was up to 4 a.m. the next day.
I got your emails at like 3 a.m. It was like, wow.
It was crazy, but the outcome was amazing. And we're so happy that we got to have you on that one, because you
guys did a great job.
Mahalo.
You did a great
total
job.
Collective effort.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't have been complete with, the people from American Idol, without you, without all the other superstars. It was just so cool to see the support that.
What was cool is that Jasmine and Camille and Paula, all contestants that it was on American Idol, participated. That was really amazing.
Yeah. And I thought it was cool including you as well, because you grew up basically with Tongans.
Yes.
And that's what IAM is.
Yes.
So it was just like a cool tribute and representation of all the different faces of Polynesia, the different musicians that we have here. Because watching it back, I wasn't thinking at the time, like, I want to get a bunch of representation. But then there was some like... Hawaiian, Samoans, Tongan, like all the representation and people that look different. Like we're all local to Hawaii, but we all look different. They're Filipino, Haole looking, Portuguese, like all kinds of stuff. And I was just like, this is way better.
Amazing. Yeah.
So go check it out. We're not going to talk about it anymore. You just got to go on the Haku Collective YouTube, Hawaiiverse YouTube, and check it out. But I do have a gift that I brought from the concert. Right over here.
Oh, nice. Oh,
and,
wow.
IAM Tongi.
Wow.
Poster right here. I don't think this is actually signed, but it's just like printed on there. So I know you couldn't make it there, but I wanted to give you this.
Wow, thank you so much, man. This is cool.
Yeah. So maybe when you meet him in person, he can sign
nice
it
handwriting, this guy.
I know. I was thinking that. I was like, did he do that, or did somebody put that signature on for him?
Wow, thank you.
Of course.
This is going right up in my house.
Yeah,
perfect.
And I'm hoping you.
And one day I'll really get him to sign it, in person.
Yeah, maybe he can just trace it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got a lot to get into, and I just want to learn more about you, and I want our guests to just hear about your legendary rise to stardom. So I always got to start at the beginning. Where are you from? Where are you grad? And what was it like growing up?
I'm from the west side. I grew up in Makaha. Actually, what really people don't realize that I started off actually, my mother was pregnant with me, and my father and mom was living in Haula, in a duplex house with my grandma and grandpa, and that's where I was, I guess, conceived, or I went to the hospital. Well, my mom went on an ambulance to Kapiolani Hospital, gave birth to me at Kapiolani, and but my memories of growing up really were in Makaha when we moved. And I went to Makaha Elementary. And just as I was in the 6th grade, getting out of 6th grade, I moved to town, and then I went to Kaimiki Intermediate and then Kaimiki High School. Mm-hmm. And, all along, through those days, my dad loved to play slaki. He wasn't professional or anything, but he loved to play, music. And as far as I remember, when I was a kid, like family parties and stuff, where people would invite us over, and he'd be playing his slaki guitar. And it wasn't until I came out of Waianae and I moved to the Kaimiki area. That's when I really, I met one bunch of guys. One of them was Kunia Galdera, who is a grandson of Gabi Pahinui. And we moved to Waikiki. Right in the heart of Waikiki, man. That was crazy days, And then I met another Hawaiian from Kona. His name was Jimmy Willis. And these guys played their ukulele, and they was making music. I was listening to the radio, and I was listening to different, songs. And these guys was actually never needed on radio. They was jamming their ukulele. So, that's where my attraction was. And I asked my dad, I said, Dad, I love this instrument. I like to, get a ukulele. And my dad was so quick to, you know what I mean? Like, he saw the interest and he was like, he was right there. Boom.
Like, I thought you would never ask.
Right. He bought me that ukulele. And I remember one thing he told me. He was a really, crack the whip kind of Hawaiian. He was like, boy, I'm going to tell you this. I better not see this ukulele, start collecting dust after a couple of weeks. You lose interest. And, Kamaka, I never let it down, I would ride my skateboard. I was a surfer. I grew up with, the Aikau family out there on Waikiki Beach and all the beach boys out there. And, I would have my ukulele in one hand and I was paddling my skateboard down on, I was living on Liliuokalani Ave and all those back streets and all of us, me, Jimmy Willis, and I had another friend of mine also, David Kalai. And his family is from Wamanalo, the Kalai family. And, we would go inside the stairwells of my building because the stairwells had echo, it was like natural reverb, and it's like, bro, we would jam for hours, and it was just good times, I'd skateboard down to the beach. And then what was good about that, because you had all like Uncle Imai Kalani Young and all those uncles down at the beach, there was, incredible musicians, and they would grab the ukulele. Boy, let me see that ukulele. And they start playing some, pretty red hibiscus and playing all these chords. And so, you just like one student, you got to remember that my era never had YouTube where you can just YouTube somebody and stuff. So you learn on the spot, even for like, learning Hawaiian songs, we would have records, Brian. We would try and, figure out whatever the words was on that record. You couldn't just Google the lyrics. You cannot Google the lyrics, and there was very few people speaking Olelo, or even that you had the you were able to go and check your words, or hey, how's these words and stuff. Very few. You had like Larry Kimura back in those days, but he was working with Peter Moon Band. It was like almost untouchable, But nowadays, you know what I mean? I mean, you get every kid. My grandchildren is in, Waiao, and they, they've been since kindergarten, and they speak Hawaiian, and so for us growing up in that era was a little bit challenging, and a lot of truth be told, a lot of our early Kapena recordings, bro, we singing the wrong words, and but we don't want nobody for check. We figured it, and anyway, that was, coming out of that, as far as the music and stuff coming out of Waianae. And, I was kind of a Kolohe boy too. I went to a lot of programs. I was in ALC. I got kicked out of school, and I was heading towards, detention home and all kinds of stuff. And really the music is what, pulled me out of that life, I was like when real... what is that? Well, like on life, like on lifeboat out there, or like on a life raft that, kind of was in my life that I hung on to, you know what I mean? And it really, took us to places,
For sure.
Different places, you know?
I mean, to see where that lifeboat has taken you, right? To that a lifeboat upgraded to a little motorboat, to a big yacht, to now it's just like you're just riding. And I look at like even IAM we're talking about, and I look at his eyes, and I think to myself, wow, this kid, what's really, what's captivating people is his honesty, his passion. You know what I mean? They see it, you hear it in his voice. He's just real passionate. About and one thing that really got me was I think one of the coaches or the judges on American Idol asked him one night, "Hey, how come you always, you put your head down, or at some points of your performance?" And he goes, because I jammed up. You know what I mean? He said that, and I looked at him and I was, "Bruh,
who would be that honest? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Nowadays,
yeah.
everybody is like, oh, they, you know,
Make
they
up
only
some-
show the good
some
stuff,
excuse,
you know.
yeah.
On, you know, it's like,
Yeah.
I just want them to see my good side on Instagram
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Facebook. But this guy, he just tell you the truth. You know
He's
what
so
I mean?
real.
He's real.
Yeah.
And that's what is the attraction.
Yeah.
That's what people love. You know what I mean? And he just, you know, he gonna stay true to where he's from. You know what I mean? The Lava song was like killer, you know, and you know, I tie it in with, you know, I tell my kids all the time, I said, you know, when daddy started out and I started playing music and stuff, we was hungry, you know, we was like, so, you know, anything that we could play, everything that we could do, we would do it. You know, I said, you guys was born on to the stage at the Waikiki Shell. You know what I mean? There's a difference, you know? And I guess for IAM, you know what I mean? I just see that eye of the tiger, that fire, you know what I mean? That he just wants to, you know what I mean, get up there and, you know what I mean, not only make his dad proud, you know, but his family. And, you know, like you said, I grew up with Tongans, man, and they're proud people.
Yeah.
You know, they're proud people. It's like the Hawaiians, it's like anybody in Polynesia, you know, they're proud of their culture, they're proud. And I go tell you, man, they're going to support, like, you know what I mean? They got your
100%.
back 100%, 110%. And
Yeah.
that's why it was such a great honor to be asked, you know, to do that little tribute to him. And wow, that's, you know, that was great.
Yeah. Did you see any of the reaction videos?
Oh,
So
I saw the reaction video and I was
there's
like,
IAM's reaction and there's people reacting to IAM's
I never saw
reactions.
that.
There's
I
so
saw-
many
oh,
videos
yeah.
coming out now. It's going viral.
oh, that's
everywhere.
crazy. That's crazy.
And it's funny because all the people not from Hawaii, they're all wondering like, oh, these guys can sing.
I know,
Everyone
I know,
in Hawaii
right?
can sing. And we're like, these are all professional singers who are
Right,
really
right.
popular in Hawaii and they had no idea. So it's so funny. Like I remember Paula had a couple of scenes where she
Right.
was just like really like belting it
Right,
out. And some
right.
guys are like, who?
Right,
Who's
right.
that lady? She can
Yeah,
sing. I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
that's Paula Funga.
I know. And I got to be side by side on her on a couple of, and I kind of, she DM'd me first
Yeah.
and she was like, and then I told her, wow, I got to sing with you, Paula, you know, because live, we've never, you know, sung before together.
Well,
but-
maybe we got to make it happen now.
I know. No, it always happens, you know, sometime in life. But
Yeah.
I was like, wow, we didn't even expect it. And it was like, boom.
Yeah,
Even
super
Jasmine
cool.
Trias was DMing me and it was like, there's one part where all three of us, I
Yeah.
forget, you know, it was just incredible.
Yeah, that's
to,
amazing.
To pay props to IAM. But yeah, growing up, coming out of Waianae and, you know, having moved to the Kaimiki area, you know, I figure like I went from east to west or west to east
Yeah.
and, you know, been around, you know, so we, you know, in high school, I entered kind of like the Hawaiian equivalent of
Local
American
Idol,
Idol,
yeah.
which
Brown
is
bags,
Brown Bags to
yeah.
Stardom, you know. And I remember coming home, man, and my dad had bought me that ukulele, and he said, "Boy," I said, "Dad, I get on group," and it was like we formed this group in Kaimiki High School and Mr. Canetta's class, and I goes, "I get on group, Dad," and he goes, "Huh? You get on group?" And I said, "Yeah, you can sign this paper." And he was like, what? And I was like, it's a contest called Brown Bags to Stardom. And the year before, he took me to Brown Bags to Stardom at the Waikiki Shell. And I believe it was Danny Kennedy them and Kavehi, it was Manao Company Danny Boy, but it was shucks.
Wasn't Naleo the same year?
No, Naleo was the same year as
Same
us.
as you.
Nakane Pono was their
Okay.
name. And bro, they sounded unreal. You know. And I looked at my dad and I told him, and he just got me the ukulele, right? And it was like, "Dad, I'm gonna be on that stage next year." And he looked at me and he kind of chuckled like,
Yeah.
oh, good
Oh, that's
boy.
cute,
good
boy. That's cute.
Good. Yeah. And bro, I was. I did. I came home, I brought the paper, and then he was so like blown away, like, what you gonna do? You know, and like
He didn't know you could sing?
he didn't know. I was, you know what I mean? I wasn't singing around, you know, I was
Yeah.
at school and you know, he would tell me, like see a group one day, bro. I brought the group over to the house and he was like, so we sang Kaulu Vehi o Ke Kai.
Oh, beautiful.
And I think it was the Wai'ehu Sons version. They did it, and they did like on chant, before they sang Kaulave. It was a killer arrangement. So we did that. And here we went, you know what I mean? And my dad was like blown, bro. He was like, wow, and we went to the Brown Bags to Stardom, and we represented our school, and we won. And we went on to the Waikiki Shell, where, of course, Naleo ultimately won. They were phenomenal. They came out with local boys and smashed it, But just to be, in the Waikiki Shell
amazing,
at 17 years old, it was like, boom, wow.
Yeah.
This is crazy, It was like everything. And,
getting chicken skin.
Yeah, it was amazing, Kamaka, bruh, you talk about school pride and stuff. Back in those days, never had phones, what I mean? Now you go out, everybody's on everybody is occupied doing something, what I mean? But
every concert, it's like this.
Right.
Nobody's just
right
watching without phones
everybody
out.
Was full attention, you know what I mean? And you had every single school represented. You had the cheerleaders from each school that was like doing, you know what I mean? Bruh, you feel like one rock star up there, And for me though, I was always just humbled by the fact that I get to be, where I get to be, you know what I mean? Where God kind of, allows me to be in the place that I am, you know what I mean? And I was basking in it, you know what I mean? I always try and tell myself, slow it down, you know what I mean? Like,
take
God, slow it down so
Yeah.
I can take this all in. And that was it, bro. And, I'll even go on to say that, I think, production wasn't as fast as you guys rolling 72 hours, you know what I mean, and putting something out. Back then it was like, different how, Brown Bags to Stardom came out on TV. And it was the old KIKI, which was Kamasami Kong and Ron Wiley and these different radio DJs that was real popular here in Hawaii. And I remember something that really kind of set me back a little bit. That night when the thing was coming out on TV, my dad recorded on it was Betamax. It was on a Betamax.
What is that?
It was you had Betamax, the smaller one, before you had VHS. So this was before kind of like 8-track tape before cassette, like. So
I was VHS era.
Yeah,
so
you was VHS.
Yeah,
okay, so this was Betamax. It was a smaller one, and and you could record them off the TV. So me, Tiva, and Timo, after the Brown Bags. There was a family that called up my dad, got in touch with us and said, we want to hire your son and the two brothers to come play our baby party. But we only knew about 15 minutes of music, And it was like, bro, what? We only practiced that song, Kaulave o Kekai. So that was going to be one, So I had to come up with a couple of more songs. And my dad was like freaking out. Wow, somebody wants to hire you guys. And bro, honest to God, bro, we played for one 15-minute gig at the St. Louis alumni. But first gig, and it was like we young, so we get there 2 hours before the thing. We like so excited, know. So we did that, and we did the gig, and my dad had recorded the thing, and growing up in Waianae, when I was young, I fought. Or I ran every day, you know what I mean? Because the way I look, you know what I mean? My dad is Hawaiian, but my mom is one Haole lady from Canada, And every day, bro, I'm fighting or I'm running because they call me, hey, Haole, the kind. And bro, when they call me that, my blood, just the kind, is like, bro, you look at my cousins, they're all Hawaiians, know. And, I grew up, you know what I mean, with them, and I grew up in Hawaii and born and raised here, and I grew up in Waianae, and bro, when they tell me that, man, that's fighting words for me,
That's as local as you can get,
right,
there,
know, but it's like, So anyway, that was my touchy spot right there, kind of like, anyway, my dad, I remember going to the gig and then coming home, and he had recorded it because we wasn't going to be home when they aired it. So he called me home, and I came home, and he told me, hey, son, I like you sit down because I told him, play the tape, Dad.
So
I like
excited,
watch, it's like, so he goes, boy, before I play the tape, I like talk to you, and I like tell you something. And I said, oh, okay. He goes, before you watch this thing, I just I like, kind of talk to you about, and then he stopped and he goes, you know what? I'm just gonna let you watch the tape, and he started it. And Ron Wiley introduced me as this Redhead Haole from Kamiki High School, exact words, that's gonna knock your socks off. That's what he said. Featuring a Redhead Haole, lead Hawaiian vocalist that is going to knock your socks. Oh, bro, I heard the word Haole and I lost it, bro. I couldn't even hear. I was watching myself sing, but, bro, I was like, I just broke down crying. Like, I was like so mad. And I told my dad, bro, I'm going to beat that guy up. Kind of like, I'm going to find this guy. Right, bro. I was so pissed, the kind. Like, I was like, and my dad sat me down and he told me, you know what, son? Let me just tell you and talk to you. He stopped the video and he said, he told me these words. He said, people not going to forget you, because if it was on Hawaiian boy up there singing Hawaiian falsetto, of course, you know what I mean? He said in 2, 3, 4, 5 years, they're going to forget, you know what I mean? Hey, what was that, the kind? But they're never going to forget that Haole that was up there singing, you know what I mean? Hawaiian falsetto, on the stage. And brah, Kamaka, my dad's words of wisdom, it came so true. Because till today, old kupunas come up to me, goes, you the Haole boy was singing, the kind. And, I learned to embrace it. You know what I mean? I learned to, you know what I mean? You get offended, but then, you know what I mean? It's like, you know what, bro? I learned to embrace it. And people would always tell me, hey, the Haole boy that sing, hey, what's up, brother? The kind. So that stuff, it's like, once my dad addressed it, bro, that whole thing that used to like keep me in bondage kind, bro, just released, you know what I mean? It was like, it was gone, And he said, bro, that's kind of like your gimmick, you know what I mean? When you show up, and my dad said he would love to go to parties and stuff, and this is the early Kapena days. He's like, bruh, you walk up on stage and already, and my dad, he's Hawaiian, so he's sitting in the back and he just blend in, you know what I mean, with the rest of the Hawaiians sitting around the party, and he goes, boy, you gotta hear some hilarious, bro. They're like, what the hell is? They start talking like, hey, look, this Haole doing up on stage, kind of like, and he goes, what the heck is he gonna? What are you gonna do? And then he goes, bro, then you open your mouth and you start singing, and he goes, wow, this Haole boy is not bad, And he says, just, you know what I mean? Just, go with it, brother. You know what I mean? That's who you are. You know what I mean? That's who you from, and you know who you are, and that's all that cares. That's all that matters. You know what I mean? That you know who you are, and just little inside stuff that not too many people know that I wanted to share. You know what I mean? And it's been a wonderful, I mean, the people of Hawaii and beyond, bro, have embraced us and supported us. You know what I mean? And really, bro, I'm honored. You know what I mean, to be able to do this and to play music, and now I got 3 generations playing with me. From generation to generation.
I think what's really cool about that story is, I've mentioned it multiple times on the podcast when we talk about childhood growing up, is that thing that made you weird or insecure as a kid is the thing that can make you cool as an adult and almost be like your superpower. So like, as soon as you learn to embrace it and be like, this is who I am,
that's right,
it became your niche. And it's like, wow,
that's right, this is
the Haole guy singing Hawaiian.
That's right.
No one else can do that. It's almost like you're the Hawaiian version of Eminem. Right? And I just thought about that right now.
Right.
What is this Haole guy trying to rap like that? I know. And it's like,
the guy was bad too, I mean, he is bad.
So I mean, can I coin that now? Are you the Hawaiian Eminem?
Yeah.
What? I didn't even think about that. That's crazy.
Oh, shoot.
But yeah, I think that's amazing, and so many people go through that.
Yeah.
Not feeling like they're
And I share this story, Kamaka, because God made you who you are. You know what I mean? This is who you are. Just make the best of what you can, what little or what, you know what I mean? Even though it looks like, things are against you or stuff like that, it's not really true. You know what I mean? You gotta make it happen, and but always do it with, humility and humbleness. And that's what I get from, like IAM. When I see that, it kind of re-sparks that, you know what I mean? That hope inside of me that, wow, still get humble guys out there that is, you know what I mean? Just passionate about doing what they're doing.
Yeah, not doing it for, the fame and fortune, whatever.
This guy come out with his slippers.
I love it.
He come out with his Hawaiian shirt. He's like, bro, this is me.
Yeah.
This is who I am. He not going to hide it. He not going, and he's on stage. Yes, sir.
Yes,
you know,
sir.
And I'm like, what?
He tried to get Ryan's secrets to say it.
Right.
Yes, sir, too.
I know.
Funny.
And it's like, bro, this is so cool, bro. Just be who you are. You know what I mean? Just be who you are. And that's what my dad taught me and instilled in me. He said, boy, just be who you are. Embrace it. That's your, you know what I mean? That's what he called, you know what I mean? That's your niche in life, bro. You know what I mean? And it's been awesome, and it just I mean, for me, I never watched, I was a big fan of American Idol. Like I used to watch them all the time, and I haven't for many years. But now, bro, I'm VCRing it again. You know what I mean? Like, what? And it was like, bro, because IAM is on. You know what I mean? And and that's what Hawaii is all about, bro. We support everybody. You cannot. You gotta. That's what we are, bro. We love. We are Aloha. You know what I mean? That's our code of. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're showing
Conduct,
the world what Aloha can do.
That's right, bro. And people are freaking, bro.
Yeah.
They're just wondering, like, what is this? What, you know what I mean? Like, how come we feel so good inside? You know what I mean? That's the spirit of Aloha. You know what I mean?
Yep. I've been watching all these reaction videos, and everybody's tripping out like, oh, I'm so jealous. I want to move to Hawaii. Like, to see everybody come together for this guy.
Right.
Just the support that he's getting. You don't see that everywhere else. The positivity. Yeah.
He's infecting the world, bro.
It's crazy,
with
making
Aloha.
everyone smile. So, just the fact that we could make him, quote unquote, crack up. That's
right.
It's funny because even one of these reaction videos of people reacting to IAM watching our video, they're like bawling, crying. They're so touched by it. And then IAM's like, hey.
I know.
Like, they're like, I know. But they love that. Like, even this one YouTube channel, they're saying like, I have a feeling he's not going to be as expressive, because like even on TV, he's never like over the top. He's just like, oh yeah, yes sir.
Right.
So that's how he was, because that's how he is.
Right, that's so local though.
Yeah, exactly. He didn't have to like be extra or whatever. He was just like, hey. Yeah,
and that's just our culture, Kamaka. Because even like I remember, and it takes me back to a story when my kids was young, and bro, all the kids, we went to Disneyland, and bro, all the kids, kind of like they was like mobbing Mickey Mouse, you know what I mean? And I was like telling my kids, go say hi to Mickey Mouse, the kind of like. And they kind of, no, daddy, the kind of, and I was like, go say hi. And they real reluctant, but people from Hawaii is different. We're real shy, you know what I mean? We're real humble, you know what I mean?
You don't want to bother.
Yeah, you don't like bother, the kind. And that's totally what his whole reaction is, bro, when he's up there. And bro, I think people is like, wait, what? You know what I mean? What is this? You know what I mean? Because everybody's trying to get attention, in this world now. It's like, look at me, the kind. And brother is not like about it. He's like, hey, all right, that's all you get, know.
It's funny when you say we're really reluctant to, ask for help, approach people sometimes. But the local community, so I always say connections are strong, but connections are stronger. Just like this local connection that we have between us Kanaka, us locals, is so much stronger, so that I can reach out to people on 72-hour notice and still get something done. They will put everything else on the side just to help you out, because you are Kanaka, because we are one big ohana. You can't find that anywhere else.
No, and I go tell you, bro, it was challenging for me, Kamaka, because I'm not tech savvy, bro. And you sent this format, bro. Okay, do this. And I was like, okay, wait, what?
So good.
And I was telling my kids, I need you guys' help. And it was like, I'm sorry, Dad, we got things to do. And I was like, they were out of the house, and I was like sitting, bro. So I sat there, bro, and I was like, okay, I'm going to read your emails. I was going to figure out, okay. So, I downloaded it. Okay. And then I was like, wait, I got to sign up for a 1-year subscription for this thing. And then I said, And then I figured out, oh no, I can use the 7-day free day trial on that program that you told us to download, and then I can cancel them.
Yeah.
So I used it, and then I was like, oh, I better make sure. I was going to charge me, you know what I mean, for 1 year subscription or whatever. I was like, oh, snap.
And I'm going to tell you guys, all watching, listening right now, he was the first one that submitted.
No way.
He was the first one that submitted.
Oh, see, bro. OG.
Yeah,
all
the
right.
OG coming in before the youngins, yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
It's amazing. So as you're older now, and you have your kids in the same industry as you, and you guys get some strong genes because they all look like you too.
I know. My mom, bro. That's my mom's holy blood. It's like, wow.
Did they, or are they ever going to the same things that you experience as well? Growing up being Hawaiian in this music industry, or you feel secure being Hawaiian when you look Hawaiian, or you do Hawaiian things, quote unquote. Are they going to that stuff too?
They never did.
Yeah,
they never did. Yeah. A lot of the things that I went through and the depressions and stuff like that in my, that I've grown up with because of, Brad, that was the early forms of being bullied. We get that, we get things in school now to, stop bullying and stuff like, bro. Never had that kind of stuff when I was all in all out. Like I said, bro, I either fought because I had to fight, or I was chased, bro, the kind, and it was just bullied, bro. I remember one kid, bro, used to chase me. He was an older kid too. And try and hijack me for money and why not, And I'll see him, bro, and I'll be stroking my bike, bro, forget it, and I just torture, bro, the kind, like, and I would stay up at night, bro, because of this. Like, if this guy catch me, like, he gonna beat me up, and
or scared to go to school,
or scared, the kind, the kind. So, they never been through the kind, bro. They grew up as Kelly Boy's kids,
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, bro. They work hard. My kids, they all are brilliant musicians. You know what I mean? They're real akamai, when it comes to that. But I always tell them, you know what I mean? Me and my two Tongan brothers, Tiva and Timo, bro, we had the eye of the tiger back when we was kids. You know what I mean? Because, bro, nobody opened doors for us. Like I said, we wasn't born on the shell, the Waikiki shell. You know what I mean? On the stage. You know what I mean? You never came in. You know what I mean, bro? We fought for that. We did everything that we literally could. You know what I mean? To be there. You know what I mean? And we rehearsed, we practiced, we learned, and we we humbled ourselves. We went into like different nightclubs and different places where other people were playing, and it was like we gotta kind of get in with, you know what I mean, ask, we would sit there, bro, kamaka, just so that they would see us, then maybe call us up on their stage, you know what I mean? And that's what they would do. We'd be
waiting for your chance.
Waiting for my chance, you know what I mean? And it was incredible. But my children, and I'm glad they didn't. You know what I mean? You always want to protect. Yeah, I went through it for them, and you always want to protect them of that. But I always told them though. You know what I mean? I said, no ever. You know what I mean? Don't ever act big head, or you know what I mean? Don't think like you something special. I said, something. You always humble yourself and be grateful. You know what I mean? And be one good representative of this family. You know what I mean? You know, and they did. They're really good, and they all, like I said, even Tiva and Timo's sons, you know what I mean? And their kids, you know what I mean? That's just the way we all, you know what I mean, raised them.
That's the values.
Yeah.
So going back to your journey with Kapena, so you guys did the brown bags to Stardom. You became kind of these local stars in a sense. And then where did you go from there? How did you get to the level you are today?
So what had happened was from there we started working, and our first job was called the Polynesian Pub. I think it's Aloha now. On Leleokalani Avenue. It used to be the Pacific Beach Hotel. And right in the front there was a little place called the Polynesian Pub. And the pub, it was a Tongan, Sonasi was this guy's name. He was a manager. And because it was Tiva and Timo's, cousin, or I think cousin, or he was older, so they would call him like uncle, but I believe that he was cousin to them. He hired us, but really, technically, he never hired us, bro. We played for free, bro. It was tips. We would get tips.
Yeah.
But, bro, Hawaii was the last state in America that 18 years old, you could it was already changing the law. You got to be 21 for being in one bar and drink and stuff like that. Hawaii was one of the last, still 18 was 18 in those days. You could be 18 years old and ordering pictures of margaritas and beer and all that kind of stuff. And, bro, these kids, bro, summertime would be loaded. Kids from all over the world be flying to Hawaii and, coming and partying at the Polynesian pub. And, bro, we would make tips, bro, like crazy. You know what I mean? And, bro, it was 6-hour sets.
Oh,
from
so 15 minutes to 6
bro,
hours.
Right. So that's where we get all of our repertoire,
Yeah.
And, bro, because you playing for these kind, and this was what Kapena was, you know what I mean? That's what we started off doing, bro. We had to learn all these different genres of music, So, Kapena has never been like just one reggae band or a Hawaiian band or the kind. I would say that we're more like on variety because that's how we grew up, you know what I mean? But I play at the Halekulani every Tuesday, and bro, that's all I play is traditional Hawaiian music, you know what I mean? So, and then we're going to San Diego, or we just finished the Holo Holo Fest in Las Vegas, and it's a reggae concert, and we played all reggae, you know what I mean? Island reggae, of course, and so it's helped us with that, you know what I mean, to be able to, you know what I mean. And then, we play conventions, and then you get people from the mainland, right, that want to hear one variety of stuff, you know what I mean. So that's where I think we've been blessed, and that's what those early days of Kapena when really put into motion for us. We had to learn all these different genres because, bro, you're gonna sing Hawaiian music to 18-year-old kids that, you know what I mean, is partying over there, and there's like, bro, you're gonna lose them, you're gonna lose them. It's like, bro, you're supposed to be, keeping this bar, jumping, and so that's where we got the different genres, and then from there. We went to there was a place in the Royal Hawaiian Shopping Center called the Hungry Eye. This place, bro, back in those days, you had groups like Brother Nolan, Uncle Nolan playing over there, Mokeale, who is Uncle Israel's uncle. You had Jeff Rasmussen was playing with Uncle Mo, and everybody at that time the who's who of Hawaiian music was playing at Hungry Eye. So, bro, we would go all the time, and we'd be like, bro, one day we get to play, you know what I mean? Hopefully we get to play at a Hungry Eye or stuff. And I got one killer story about that one too.
Tell us.
Yeah. So Uncle Mo, it was Uncle Mo, and I think it was Jeff Rasmussen, and I forget who was playing with Uncle Mo that time. Maybe Dellard De La Pina, he lives on the Big Island now. But they were playing. It was a Mokeale trio, Jeff Rasmussen and Hoku Rasmussen had passed away, Jeff's brother. He passed in a car accident, I believe. And anyway, Uncle Mo contacted me, and he said, boy, we go in, and he played the 4 to 6 slot, I believe it was, at the Hungry Eye. We got our big break, right, at the Hungry Eye, right, at that time. And he was like, boy, we're playing for Hoku's celebration of life at the Imu. It was down in Aiea. And I was wondering if you could fill in for us that night. And I told the 2 Tongan boys, I said, Tiva and Timo, I said, bro, we got our break, man. I said, we're going Hungry Eye and we're going to play. And so we went, and we got there, like I said, bro, like 2 hours before we start, right? And it was like so excited, bro, and nobody was there, you know what I mean? And then people started trickling in. And then, bro, kind of like, we started at 4, bro, like 3:45, bro. We already starting, kind of said, let's go, And so we started playing. And the bar manager had known that we were filling in for Uncle Mo but the general manager was this German guy. His name was Peter. And he had the accent and everything. And he had come in maybe about half an hour later, maybe 4:30, he came in. And, bruh, this guy saw us on stage, and he hit the ceiling, bruh. He started yelling, and he started telling the bar manager, he was like, what the hell? Who the hell is this? And where is Mo? Where is Mo Keale? You know, and the manager goes, oh, Peter, I told you that Mo was getting yeah, but who is these guys, you know? And I will tell you, bro, Kamaka, this guy sat at the corner of the bar, bro, and he never left for the next hour and a half. He sat there like this with his hand like that, watching us. And he was like, what is your name? He came to us after, and I was, oh, we're the group Kapena. Bruh, he said, I want you to come because I'm firing the guy on Sunday. I want you to play. The guy on Sunday always come late. He come the kind, you're going to have this
2
spot.
hours early. You guys.
I know. Bruh, so he was like, and that's where we started the Hungry. That lasted for a little while. And then we went to Sparky's Lounge. Sparky's Lounge was kind of Joe DeFreeze and Kilauea was playing there. And, bro, it was one of those clubs, bro, that all the musicians, after they finish playing music, they come to that club, Sparky's, you know? And Sparky was so smart because he would sponsor, you know, different softball, the older leagues, you know, the kind bowling and stuff like that, all the bowling leagues. And so these guys, when they finish this softball game, win, lose or draw, bro, they're at Sparky's Lounge, you know what I mean? You know, and the place was always loaded. I remember Melvin Lead coming in the front door one night, and she looking at me and she goes, Kelly boy, where can I sit? I go, sorry, Mel, I don't know. I mean, the place is loaded, and brush, they never let even Melvin out, you know? I was like, bro, I felt so bad. I was like, sorry, Mel, I don't know. You know, the place was just crazy. And we played there for many, many years. And one day our new manager, I think it was Ed Marino, had told us, he said, you know, I think, you know, we should capture you guys here at Sparky's Lounge. So Dave Tusserone, who, you know, produced Hawaiian style band, I mean, as recent as up to Kalani Pe'a, he recorded the first couple or few Kapena albums, you know, the first few, but my manager thought it would be a good idea, and nobody really at that point really wanted to take one gamble on putting us into the studio and paying. Back in those days, you're looking at like $15,000 for one recording. So they decided to do a live album. So it was called Satisfaction Guaranteed. And they brought all the outboard equipment into Sparky's Lounge, and all of the fans that we made that would just pack that little club up. And we did it on a Saturday morning. That was really hard for me, you know, doing that recording. On the album, the live album, I cracked it a couple of times because my dad had passed on Wednesday, the Wednesday before that recording. The album was dedicated to him, but my dad was the one that, you know what I mean, when he took the reins of Kapena back in the day, you know, and he saw what we did at the Waikiki Shell and stuff. He's the one that would give us all these different songs, and he would make set list books for us, you know, and type them up and, you know, put the words in, and we would have them all timed out, and he would make us rehearse, and, you know, and he was always there. And 3 days before this, you know what I mean? Finally, he sees, you know, you know, his work, you know, his son and his two, you know what I mean, boys, you know, recording their first live album. But he passed at Queen's Hospital, and you know, my dad was always the kind, you know, brother, the show gotta go on. He always used to tell me that. It always, you know, so I recorded that. It was like on Big Apple in my throat, you know what I mean? And that was the hardest thing. And that's where we recorded Satisfaction Guaranteed. And I always say that nobody wanted to take one chance on Kapena because it was like, you know, on studio recording. So they did the cheapest route possible is to do it live. And and capture that live sound. And that thing, we got nominated for the Nā Hōkū Hanohano awards with that. We never won that year, but we got nominated. You know what I mean?
Crazy.
For Group of the Year, and what is that when you're a new Group of the Year, like
up and coming
kind Group of the right, and all kind different. You know, we never won anything, like I said, but the next year it was like, brah, we sold so many albums, Rakamaka, so many, you know, of Satisfaction Guaranteed, like, brah. People was like noticing, like, what, who is this? You know what I mean? This sound, you know what I mean? And the next year we recorded the big one, you know what I mean? That's with, you know, Never Gonna Give You Up, Crazy, Reggae Train. I mean, no, Reggae Train was kind of on the later kind, but that's when, you know, we recorded that stuff, and bro, we won, I don't know, 4 Nā Hōkū Hanohano awards the next year, and they kind of set everything into motion, you know what I mean?
The train was boarding and ready to leave.
Yeah, and we started, you know, rolling along, you know, playing parties and traveling, and yeah.
Well, what was it about doing this and performing live and singing that you loved so much about it?
I loved the people, bro. I loved, you know, meeting people, and just, you know, to be able to, you know, have this gift, you know, that we cherish so much, you know what I mean? The gift of doing something that we love to do. And, you know what I mean? We were, you know, making a living doing it, but it was bigger than just, you know, making a living, bro. It was just, you know, it was a feel good kind of, you know what I mean? It was like, you know, all of those hustling years, you know what I mean? It was like, things is like turning around, you know what I mean? Like things, you could see like the fruits of what you put into it, and what you know what I mean? Like coming, you know what I mean? And the fruits is just, you know what I mean? The visual of people, you know what I mean? Like watching people's reaction and you know what I mean? Singing along to your songs and stuff like that, you know? And not until I got a little bit older, you know, now I sit back and people come up to me and they tell me, you know, Kelly boy, your music, bro, was a playlist of our life. And I understand what they're saying, because, bro, there's playlists of my life of artists that Hui Ohana, you know what I mean? Makaha Sons, Brothers Casimiro, bro. I know I can say those names, bro, and tell you exactly where I was when I listened to that stuff, or where it took me. You know what I mean? And it was like, you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? I understand. And, bro, what a heavy responsibility it is for you to carry, you know what I mean? So I looked at that and I said, bro, I have one responsibility, you know what I mean, to people, you know what I mean, to continue on, you know what I mean, and to make new music, and, you know, continue the legacy on, you know what I mean? That's our kuleana, you know what I mean? And, you know, I mean, yeah, it's been such a wonderful, you know.
Yeah. So that's why you still continue to play today? Because
That's why
that sense
I do.
of kuleana?
Yeah, I'll be honest. The kids are every so often tell me, hey, Dad, stay home. We get them already. Well, I told them, bro, I'm going to fight, bro, for hang around with you guys. That's right. I never worked this hard for raise you guys and teach you guys.
You get to got a credit, yeah.
Right.
It's funny because if you stop singing, the kids growing up, they're going to think that's Kapena.
Right. You know what's so funny, bro? People, little kids, bro, still singing, you must be crazy, bro. And we're in concerts, bro. And I'm like, bro, what? We were at this gig just this past week. And this young girl, she was with her mom. They were, we're in Waipahu doing, what was a celebration for Waipahu Town Center. 25 years or 20 years or whatever. And this young girl selling their little crafts with her mom, she cannot be 16, 17. And she goes, Kelly boy, can I get a picture with you? And she's screaming, and I'm like, yeah. And she goes, I love Blue Darling. Bruh, I recorded Blue Darling probably when her mom was one. And I was like, what? And I was like, and I dedicated to her, you know, on the stage, and she was like, thank you, you know. And yeah, it was like, you know what I mean? Bro, I still blow my mind, Kamaka. I never take anything for granted, bro.
Love that.
Yeah. Even, you know, people tell me, hey, how is on stage and stuff, bro? I still get stage fright. I still am nervous. You know what I mean? I get up on stage. Oh, bro, the thing is gone in 30 seconds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, you know what I mean? You're on stage. It's like, brah, you know? And
Is it a different type of nervous from when you started? Because I'm going to guess the type of nervous that you had growing up was like, you got to prove yourself and, you know, you don't want to mess up. And now, because you're already so established, it's like, I got to prove to them I'm still here. I still got it.
Nah, I don't know. It's just, I never thought of it that way. But yeah, so I'll ponder that.
Yeah. Let that sink in.
And I'll, let that sink in. But, I think it's just, I'm always like, bro, I hope I do a good job. You know what I mean? And I hope, you know what I mean, that, I think that's a kind of nervous that probably it was a different mentality though, like you said, when I was younger, it was like, but for me, it's like, people, paid to come to this concert and stuff like that. I hope I don't let them down.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You want them to
like,
be happy, get their money's worth.
I hope,
totally get that,
Yeah, I don't want to be up there and, that kind.
Yeah, well,
nervous.
If you watch that IAM video, you can see you still got them.
Yeah, still trying.
Yeah.
Still trying to.
Yeah. Before we take a break, and then we got a special performance from the one and only coming up.
Yeah.
How did you get your name Kelly Boy?
Okay, so that was my friend David Kalai. He, when we were kids growing up in Waikiki, that was the Waikiki days. It was just, that's what he would keep. He would, Kelly Boy, hey, we'll go hang out and we'll go surf, or Kelly Boy, we'll go jam in a stairwells, and so everybody, I don't know, David Kalai is the one that I go, and I tried to change it to Kelly Man, but it just doesn't, like Kelly Man, but it just doesn't.
Yeah, I was gonna ask at what point does it not become Kelly Boy?
I know, bro, but it just sticks. Yeah, it's like everybody, hey, Kelly Boy, it was like, what's up?
Yeah. It's another thing that you just accepted, right?
Oh yeah. And it's, I just take it like, bro, you can be 80 years old and it's still, if you want Junior Boy, you know what I mean? They're gonna call you Junior. Hey, Junior Boy.
Yeah. My little niece, my brother's whose birthday is today.
Right.
We call her Cunny Girl.
Oh,
and she's 3 years old. But I wonder, as she gets older, if I'm still going to be calling her Cunny Girl.
Yeah,
even when she's 18, 30.
Because that's your baby. That
Cunny Girl. Yeah. I guess like Lena Girl.
Right? Still, she's still girl.
Yeah. That's super cool. All right, we're back from a quick break. Just a shout out to our sponsor, Shaka Tea, for providing the best shishi in the game. All right, I still don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but I keep saying it. Right now, before we listen to an amazing song by Kelly Boy Delima, we have a quick birthday shout out for my brother, Micah Lani.
Yeah. Micah, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Micah. Mahalo for all you do.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Yes, sir.
Happy birthday, dear Micah. Happy birthday to you. Yeah. Happy birthday to you. Yeah. We're gonna jump on the reggae train. We're gonna ride it till we go insane. We're gonna jump on the reggae train. We're gonna ride it on down the lane. Let's get going to the station. The station of love. Grab your ticket and your ohana, yeah. We're coming your way. Ooh, yeah. We're coming your way. Well, to all the native people, here's one from the Kapena crew. We're gonna jump on the reggae train. We're gonna ride it till we go insane. Let's get going to the station. The station of love. Grab your ticket and your family along. We're coming your way. And we're coming your way. Yeah. That I know. We're gonna jump on the reggae train. We're gonna ride it till we go insane. We're gonna jump on the reggae train. We're gonna ride it on down the lane. Yeah. We're gonna jump on the reggae train. Yeah.
Yes, as
happy
you
birthday,
would
Michael.
say. Wow,
Yeah.
that was so cool. I didn't know you were just gonna transition like that. That was so awesome.
Yes, we just
Wasn't
medley that.
Yeah, that's amazing. Mahalo
thank
so
you.
much for doing that and
You're
singing.
welcome. You're
Yeah,
welcome.
that was. I have the best job in the world.
You do, bro.
This is so
you
cool.
do.
All right, well, let's get into Instagram questions because I got a bunch from people.
Okay.
First question is a voice question that I got from somebody on Instagram. I'm going to start to do voice messages where people can leave me a DM recording their voice, asking the questions instead of just writing it on Instagram. So let's try this out. Hopefully we can hear it. Let me get to it. This one is sent in by Rel. Her name on Instagram is keepingit.rel or keeping.it.rel. I think she knows you. So let me play this, okay? Let me start it from the beginning. Right there.
It's Rel from Keeping It Rel. Congratulations on all your accolades. I think you've raised quite talented children also. It might be a biased opinion, but I think my son is quite musically inclined and can sing quite well for his age. His dad is also a musician. My question is, how much do you think I should push him to pursue music? He enjoys singing and playing music, but I don't know that he has the drive to make a career out of it. It could be his age, as he's only 10. I'm open to any insight and suggestions. Mahalo nui for your time and your manao. Have a great day.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah.
That was such a great question.
I know.
I think my answer would be, my approach to my kids' learning, it was because of necessity.
Mm-hmm.
The necessity was, this is how we made one living, and I needed the kids. There was a point where the group Kapena kind of went, Tiva and Timo kind of went their own way at one point, and I needed musicians, bro. This was my livelihood, and we played in Waikiki 5 nights a week. And the thing was that I needed one bass player, you know what I mean? I needed one guitar player, you know what I mean? And the wages that they wasn't that they were paying, you know what I mean, that they wasn't paying that they pay in Waikiki is not, you know what I mean, like if I was to pay, you know what I mean, Kamaka and another guy, it kind of wouldn't be worth it for us to go into Waikiki. But we all lived it as one family, and I always looked at my family as the old country western people, that they live on one farm, and the little kids is plowing, and the other kids is feeding the goats and milking, the other kid is milking the cow, and
chores,
right. So everybody had to, you know what I mean, kind of, to make this thing, and that's how I've always, you know what I mean, kind of envisioned my family in the music business. So I came to one point where I told my son, he was 11 years old, bro, playing at the Royal Hawaiian Hotel with me, and I said, son, whether you like it or not, you know what I mean? I think that's the question, whether you like it or not, and that's where our, you know what I mean, it's different in our situation. It was necessity that I get this kid up to speed, you know what I mean, and it was a duo gig at the Royal, and I was like, brother, and we would, Kapena, that's where kind of like, you know what I mean, like when airplane pilot that goes up and gets his hours, you know what I mean, on a little Cessna, you know what I mean, that was our Cessna, we was going at the Royal Hawaiian, and he was learning every night, and every week he would just get better and get better and better, because on the job brand, we're playing 5 nights a week in Waikiki,
Yeah. And when they're young enough, you don't gotta pay them. Yeah, just free child labor.
None of them, everybody always says, "Oh, what? Your father pay you enough?" None of us would get the money, Kamaka. My wife would get the money, and that's what would pay for our kaukau,
Food on the
table for a mortgage, you know what I mean?
Roof over your head.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course, that came to one kind when they all got married and stuff like that. Now they're all equal business partners, in the thing. But as far as those days, you know what I mean? That's how we, you know what I mean, bro?
How you survived.
Hey, IAM said it best, price out of paradise, bro. Sure. You know what I mean? So we got to all work together, and, so that's, to Sister Rel, thank you for the question. So that was it. But also adding to his talent, my kids, bro, I was like one drill sergeant, you know what I mean? And I was really anal, at times, and very controlling, my personality and stuff. And we've been through hills and valleys, bro, as a family, you know what I mean? Because of it, So I would not, suggest taking a kid down that route. I mean, it was necessity. I was looking to the future. I was looking at, you know what I mean, bro? This is how we gonna make one living, and I cannot be playing music all of these years and then go jump into something else that I don't know. That's all I knew. So I was gonna make the best that I could out of the music, and our abilities. And this just so, you know what I mean? Thank God, it worked out good for us. But as far as the talent and pushing him, I think if your son, Rel, has that drive, it's gonna come from him. It doesn't hurt to, you know what I mean, to kind of push them, you know what I mean? Like, hey, you got to do your homework. You know what I mean? You have to do it for school. It doesn't hurt, you know what I mean, to gently, tell them, hey, this is time for rehearsal. Set aside 45 minutes. Now, bro, my kids, they was playing multiple instruments. So, bro, 45 minutes on the drums, 45 minutes on the piano, 45 minutes on their other instrument that it was like, so while the kids, they playing kickball outside on the street, you know what I mean? They inside doing their lessons and watching the clock like, I still got 2 more instruments that I got to do. Don't go that extreme, because they come out kind of, you know what I mean? You mess things up a little bit, but it's all good. But yeah, I would say, you know what I mean? But the thing is this. Here's my good information that I've gathered over the years. If you think that you can send your children to one school, music school or voice school, ukulele school, and think that they're gonna go to that school and they're gonna learn, you know what I mean? Then that's not gonna happen, because one of the I used to have this mentality like, bruh, I'm gonna send like Kapena, for example, my middle one. I sent her to this teacher, and it was this teacher, Todd Yukamoto, who told me this answer. So I used to think to myself, I sent her to saxophone lessons. He's the guy teaching her, so he should teach her. And after 1 year and stuff like that, he came to me and he goes, Kelly, Kalena's not good, but she's not bad. And I was like, wait, what? I was like,
what do you mean by that?
She's not that good, but she ain't bad. So what does that mean? He goes, let me just tell you, if you think that you're sending her to me to learn how to play the saxophone, that's not going to happen. All I am giving her is instruction. What you go home, 90% of it is what you do at home. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I started, and that's what turned me into one freak, bro. You know what I mean? That like kind of, you know what I mean, did something to my brain. It's like, wait, when a thing went kind of click in my mind, like, bro, I'm sending these guys to this teacher, thinking inside of my mind that, hey, bro, I paying you teach them. You know what I mean? They do teach them. They give them that 10% of instruction and how to, you know what I mean, how to properly hold your instrument, or, the tones that you should be blowing and stuff like that. You got to go home and go practice that stuff. Yes. You know what I mean? That's where my job came in. So to answer Sister's question is, you know what I mean? It's what you put into your child, you know what I mean? And how much they put into it that they're going to get out of it. And that's life, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, that's life. What you put into it, you're going to get out of it.
Anything, business, sports,
right. So sorry
music.
for the long, answer, but yeah, that was, that's what I dealt with. And that's what I tell, any student that I have the opportunity to teach or.
Yeah, mahalo for answering
explain.
that question.
Yeah,
Great
yeah.
insight. So I hope that's helpful, Rel.
Yeah, Rel.
Yeah, and
thank
Rel,
you.
good luck on the TV show. I don't know if
Yeah, she's
going.
a cooking. Is that
Yeah,
Rel
that's
cooking?
her.
Bro,
Yeah,
my
I
wife
love her
loves
stuff.
you, Rel.
Yeah.
My wife, actually, we eat a lot of her
Really?
recipes. Yeah.
Oh, super cool. My mom's a big fan, so she told me about her a while back. So I've been following.
No,
and
totally. And I think she just followed me on Instagram, I think, or something like that.
perfect.
So
Yeah.
I'm going to DM you, Rel.
Yeah. She's gonna go on a cooking TV show soon.
Oh, I'm so happy.
So-
Bro, that girl can cook.
Yeah.
And we use a lot of her recipes. She goes, we're cooking this,
Super
a stew
creative
luau
kind,
and
yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because Rel, I got Rel's. So my wife just loves you. So thank you, Rel.
Awesome. Super cool.
And I wish your son all the best, man. Just keep, pushing him along. You know what I mean? Helping him out and kind of supporting him when if you taking him to lessons or whatever, just help him along. You know what I mean? And encourage him to no do what I did. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Everyone got their own parenting style
Right,
too, which
right,
is different.
right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, mahalo for that. See you on the podcast hopefully in the next couple of months, Rel. Next question comes from Jerry_Salamante, and it's another voice question.
Okay.
Hello, Kamaka and the Keep It Aloha podcast. This is Jerry Salamante, and this question is for Kelly Boy Delima. My question is, when you were forming your band with your family, did you ever consider using different names other than Kapena? And what were they? Also, was there any issues reusing your name, Kapena, as far as licensing or publishing with the old original Kapena group? Thank you, and I'll see you in San Diego on May 20th.
Yeah. Wow, that's cool. Hey, Jerry? What?
Jerry Salamante.
Hey, Jerry. Yeah, we look forward to seeing you this week.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. We look forward to seeing you in San Diego, or probably when this podcast is done. I mean, we're already had done it already, but anyway, thanks for the question. There was no issue with the group Kapena. It was my dad that named the group. So my dad named the group Kapena. So even before the original Kapena kind of formed, it was already trademarked. We trademarked it, and it was I've always had that name, and I've kept it. And I got not only the group, but I named my son after the group. And I'll give you a little bit story about that real quick. I didn't know my son was born, and we did our Satisfaction Guaranteed album, I think, and then right after that we did our second album, and that's when Kapena was born, 88, I think. And I thought to myself, I don't know how long this career gonna last. So I'm gonna kind of name my son after this group, just to, you know what I mean? So if I, for whatever reason, we don't, make another album after this or whatever, I got something to, kind of mark that period of my life, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which was my son Kapena.
It's like getting a tattoo, except you just had a son.
Right. And and now he named his son Kapena. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So anyway, so we've always, and no issues as far as that. What was the other question?
And then I have trouble licensing it. I was all.
Oh, yeah. No.
Or did you think of any other names before?
Okay.
Kapena?
Yeah, that was a good one. Because in high school, when I first entered the Brown Bags to Stardom the first year, okay, so we entered twice. One was the one that we went with Naleo Pilimehana. That was not the original Kapena. That was, it wasn't Tivani and Timoni. I played with three other guys. Wait. Who was on that stage? Okay, it was me, Sofengi Faitao, he was a Samoan boy from Palolo Housing, and Ricky Bacarsi, and Paulie Miranda. That's right, there was four of us. Paul Miranda was another Portuguese boy from Kaimaki area that we grew up with. And we chose our name from off of the back of one random album, which was Nale o Hawaii. That was our original name. And so if you look at the Brown Bags to Stardom, that's the name of the group. It's not Kapena. And that was the year, I believe, that we entered with Naleo. So we wasn't Kapena at that time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So why Kapena?
My dad chose the name Kapena, and my dad was going to Farrington High School, and they would cut out of school. This was his story, and they would go to Kapena Falls.
Oh,
And he always told me,
okay.
you know, boy, you know, this kind of long Hawaiian name and stuff like that is all good, but keep it simple. You know what I mean? So that people can, you know what I mean? And I think like even Nā Leo Pili Mehana, later on they changed their name to Nā Leo.
Yeah.
You know? And, you know, just, you know, so my dad had insight even before that back then, you know, he was like, just keep it one name. This is my favorite swimming hole, Kapena. So, you know, basically we keep that name and we carry on that name because it was a gift that, you know what I mean, that my dad, you know, blessed us with. And 3 days before we did our first album, he passed, you know what I mean? And so he's forever, you know what I mean?
Connected to him, yeah.
Connected.
It's honoring him.
Totally.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
So I hope I answered the question, Brother
Definitely,
Jerry.
yeah.
Yeah.
Next question comes from, these are just regular questions now. Comes from K_Chong. Will there ever be an OG Kapena concert?
Yes. Well, hopefully we're looking at, you know what I mean, doing a 40-year reunion. You got to remember now, like, we did a 30-year at the Waikiki Shell. And that was sold out. It was fantastic. And we brought the two boys. One of the brothers lives permanently back in Tonga.
Oh, wow.
And Tivaini, he goes back and forth, you know, from Tonga to back here. And they're ministers now, you know what I mean? Tivaini is a minister, and he's the oldest, in the family. So Tongan style, you know, you take care of your, you know, Tupo and Litea, which is his mom and dad. They're older, you know what I mean? So as the head of the house or the oldest child, you know what I mean, and boy, you know what I mean, it's he get heavy responsibility to take care of them. So, you know, hopefully we can do I think in another few more years, you know, it's going to be our 40th anniversary, you know.
What an accomplishment.
Yeah, you know, so we're hoping to,
Okay, well, stay tuned for that then.
We'll see. We'll
follow
see
him on Instagram. Stay tuned for updates.
I might have to wheel them in and nah. They're all good.
Okay, so sorry for that loud burst of noise earlier. That was my Instagram already at the highest level of volume because I was playing the voice messages and I was trying to go to the other messages. So, you know how that goes.
It happens, yeah.
So next question comes from Princess Jazz, multiple Z's. Tell us about your peaks and valleys in your life, your lowest and highest moments in life.
Oh man, that's a great question. Well, you know, the highs was, you know, of course, getting into the music business and you know, being able to perform, and then you get, you know, you win all these Nā Hōkū Hanohano awards, and then the lows I think was, you know, getting into the drugs and into the drug scene, and you know, I was never a drinker. I was never an alcoholic or anything like that, but yeah, I got really bad into, you know, crystal meth and, you know, cocaine, and it all started, you know, with, you know, like with smoking, you know, weed and stuff, and it was just like something, you know, like that everybody was doing, you know what I mean, and getting into, and you know, literally, you know, it at one point it you know, almost consumed our lives, you know what I mean, our families and our group and everything, you know what I mean, but you know, all I can do is give God, you know, the glory, because God is the one, you know, that really plucked me out of it, you know what I mean, and put me on a new road, you know what I mean. You know, today you know what I mean, we're all good. I'm all good, and I got accountability now in my life, which is my children and my grandchild, and you know, when you get to this point of life, right, it's like, you know, like any of that stuff, you know what I mean, passed down to them, you know what I mean, because it was ugly. it wasn't a good, you know, so that was the lows. But it truly went from, you know what I mean, from mountaintop into valley, and then
as
back
high
to
as
mountain,
you can get, as low as you can get, huh?
You think that you're getting high, and you know what I mean, you're getting so this is like the life, bro. That's not the life, you know what I mean. Today I get high on the Lord, you know what I mean. Today I get high on Jesus, and and he takes me to higher levels and with a clear state of mind. You know what I mean? And so yeah, thank you for that question.
Yeah, well,
that's the honest answer.
Mahalo for sharing that, being vulnerable,
Yeah.
and you know, that's gonna speak to a lot of people. You know,
Yeah.
that's gonna help a lot of people.
Oh, it's
who are
real. You know,
going
I'll
through
tell you
that.
the truth. You know, I couldn't get on stage without smoking one fatty. You know what I mean? Before I was, you know, that's one lie. You know what I mean? It's a lie, bro. You can get on stage and still rock.
It was just
and
a
be
crutch.
clear-minded,
Yeah.
man. You know what I mean? You know, clear-minded. You know, and you know, it's a, what do they call it? It's like a introduction. You know, weed. You know what I mean? You can start getting
Yeah,
into
gateway
the
drug.
gateway
Yeah.
drug. That's it. For lack of figuring out that word, yeah, it's a gateway. You know, and from that I went to all that other stuff, and it's just no more though. I mean, it's all good. I'm
Yeah.
clear-minded and
Yeah, well, it's
Yeah.
tough with that era,
uh-huh.
and also the music scene. You know, I mean, especially these days. I mean, it's on your
oh,
left
it's
side
on the
there.
outside. Okay, here it is.
Yeah.
Yes, shakas.
Yeah, I hear a lot of stories like that. You know, it's like you're touring, you're staying up late,
Yeah.
you're like meeting so many people, going to all these parties, so it's hard not to get sucked into.
And
that.
then the voice starts getting affected, and then your performance starts getting affected, and it's like, bruh, that's not the purpose of it, bruh. People is, you know what I mean? Like I told you earlier, you know, we got a responsibility, bruh, to your fans out there. You know what I mean, bruh? To be totally, you know what I mean? I always think of like Whitney Houston, bruh. I remember Jamie Foxx telling something about Whitney. He's like, bruh, Whitney could sing the phone book, bruh, and her voice was. And then you look at some videos of her, bro, when she was really into, I mean, like into, you know, into the drugs heavy, and she started losing her voice and stuff. You know what I mean? That gift, and that happened to me too. You know, same thing. You know, you know what I mean? I'm up for 5 days. You know what I mean? You know, and my voice. You know, you dry out. Your voice gets dried out, and you start losing the voice, and it's like, bro, you're not doing nothing. You know, and you're not doing nothing to. You know what I mean? You know, and why do you want to throw away that gift? You know what I mean? You know, it's important.
Talent right
yeah.
there. Yeah.
So yeah, you're right. Come on. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, mahalo again for sharing that. That's, I appreciate that.
Thank you for the question. Yeah,
definitely.
Jazz.
Okay, next question comes from Corey Lihal. And this question says, tell us about composing the classic song Masese and its meaning. I think a lot of people
Yeah.
I looked it up, but yeah, you can.
That's cool.
We'll get it from the horse's mouth.
Masese was composed by a good friend of ours. His name is Sakyusa Buli Toko Toko.
Wow.
He's Fijian. He's a Fijian man that lived with Tivaini and Temoni and us guys here in Hawaii for many years.
So that's why it's.
Yeah.
I was wondering why it's in.
So
Fijian.
Masese, Sakyusa was his name. He's an uncle of Fiji, George Vekoso, you know, Fiji the artist. And we recorded that song, and you know, truth be told, I thought to myself when Tiva and Timo said, bro, we should record this song. I had my doubts about it, bro. You know, I was like, bro, Masese, Masese, Masese. I said, bro, we're repeating ourselves. Kapena, Kapena. Bro.
That's so funny.
Bro, local people love that stuff. You know what I mean? We love to repeat ourselves.
It's so funny
you know?
hearing you say that, because like that's really
Right, you know, it's like, bro, what? And bro, I go tell you that song. Oh man,
one of the biggest.
Bro. I tell you, UH play that when they make touchdowns. You know, at the football game. It's like what? And bro, the reaction, bro. Every time I play that song, bro, from people,
Yeah.
is off the hook.
So
bro.
we have no idea what you're
So
saying.
Masese
it's
is
awesome.
matches. Matches. That's what Masese mean. Yangona is ava or kava.
Yeah.
Tavako or tobacco is tobacco. So they're basically, this song is a party song. They're sitting around, they're drinking the kava, they're hand rolling. In Fiji, they you know, everybody hand rolls their tobacco, you know, and then they're lighting up the matches and taking their, you know, their hand rolled tobacco cigarettes. And at the ending, you know, I might add, when I said Bulavinaka Beachside, Bulavinaka is their greeting, like aloha or
Oh, yeah,
you know,
bula, yeah.
bula, you know. or vinaka is thank you, right? So bula vinaka, thank you know. So bula vinaka. Okay, at that time I think it was AT&T. It was in like the in the 90s. AT&T came out with a video, or a commercial, and never had cell phones and back in those kind, right? So it's all landline. So if you join AT&T, your landline, you can call all these different places around the world. One was France, so they bonjour, the kind, and then another guy, and then even in Fiji, so the guy answers the phone and he goes Bulavinaka beachside. He goes like that. So it was a popular commercial.
Oh, okay.
Real popular, and that's all we watched was TV. Never had YouTube and all this kind, and so that commercial was real popular. So at the end of the Fijian song, bro, it just ended with Bulavinaka beachside, and it was like one. I was joking around, but bro, they kept it. So we kept it in the song. So everybody was like, what is Bulavinaka? And they're always trying to figure out what it was. It's beach side. Because the guy is answering the phone on the beach underneath his, older guy's going to remember that commercial. Underneath his little hut over there. And he picks up the phone, Bulavinaka beachside. And I'm like, oh, bro.
Oh,
so yeah,
cool.
So that's my
so cool to hear the story.
Yeah.
Wow. Awesome. Okay, last question comes from Kaloa Robinson. My stepdad, who is a Damien grad.
Oh, okay.
He asked Kelly Boy about him being an honorary member of Damien High's class of 1983 with Kalai, Balutsky, etc.
Yeah. So, one of my best friends, Kalai, or my oldest childhood friend, I call him. They all went to Damien High School, and so I know a lot of the guys from Damien. So I'm honorary. But really, I went to Kaimaki.
That's funny. I know.
High School.
I was wondering what he meant by that, but I guess he was just
part of
the crew.
A lot of my friends. Kalai is one of my oldest friends. I knew him from preschool.
Wow.
Actually, and we remain friends. Actually, in a couple of weeks, in a week or so, we're going on vacation together.
Nice.
So we go on, vacations together, and all of my children are good friends with his children too. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Super cool. And then he has a follow-up question. When Kelly Boy started his career, his style was known as Hawaiian. Right. What would he call his current style of local music now?
I call it island music. Hawaiian was a term that was coined by promoters. There was a lot of controversy about that back in the day. Big time, bro. The Hawaiian artists didn't and even the Jamaican artists, like, what is Hawaiian? You know what I mean? Like,
it's kind of like
it was Hawaiians playing
bad.
Jamaican. Yeah, it was like, what is you know what I mean? Like you stepping on, you know what I mean? Thing that is kapu. You know what I mean? Kind of like that's what it was, Yeah. And I don't blame them, but back in the day we used to have these Hawaiian jams, and it was at the old Aloha Tower. This was before they tore down that bridge. There was a bridge over there that went up to the higher level of Aloha Tower. Hard to explain, but they tore it down. But we would have killer concerts over there called Hawaiian jams. And what was the question again?
What would you call your
so island music. Yeah, it's always been island music, for me. I never really got into the Hawaiian thing. And a lot of people ask me, they always say, oh, you was one of the originals. You're the original ones that started this Hawaiian movement and stuff like that. Basically, back in those days, it was Kapena, you had Ho'aikane, and you had Mana'o Company. And that was the three that I can right off of my head. But, to give all honor and the kind to where it's due, the Peter Moon Band was doing Guava Jelly. They was doing Cane Fire. They was doing all of these, the kind which had that reggae beat in them. You know what I mean? So that's what got me into this style of, that style of jamming, bro, was things like Guava Jelly, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Peter Moon, bro. unreal.
They're the ones that paved the way.
That was the stuff, bro, and that's what I wanted to learn. You know what I mean? We got to work with Peter, back in the day when we were real young, and we did these Kanikapila concerts. I think Peter had 2 that he would do a year. It was Kanikapila, which was at Andrews Amphitheater at the University of Hawaii, and then he would do Blue Hawaiian Moonlight, which was at the Waikiki Shell. Kanikapila, the Kanikapila festivals at the Andrews, bro, was loaded, bro. Kamaka was filled to the gills, bro. And bro, we've played with guys like Israel. I played with Iz at that concert. Of course, the Peter Moon Band. Back in the day, Palani Vaughn. You know what I mean? So had all kind different, and Peter would bring in the young guns, the latest, what's happening. So he brought Kapena in, But bro, Peter was such a perfectionist, bro. This guy was unreal, bro. I heard him one night. We would sound check on Friday night, and it was a whole dress rehearsal kind. And I remember that one night sound checking, and Palani Vaughn was he was checking his pahu drum, and bro, he was up there for like one good 45 minutes trying to get one level and the kind on his pahu drum. And bro, I remember Peter yelling, bro, Palani, how long more? You know what I mean? We're going the kind, we gotta get this, Bro, put the fear of us inside there. He looked at me, he goes, Kelly, are you ready? I'm like, yes, Peter.
Sat up straight.
It's Peter Moon, bro. You know what I mean, bro? This is Peter Moon, And I'm like, bro, if he can yell at Palani like that, you know what I mean? And Palani is like royalty, bro,
Yeah.
And I said, bro, we are chicken scratch, bro. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, bro, you scraps, brother. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, bro, talk about, you know what I mean? But, bro, what a great experience, bro. I think back on those kind of things, bro, Kamaka, and I freak, bro, that I had, you know what I mean? And even in those days, bro, like working with Henry Capono, Loyal Garner, you know what I mean? Back when we were that young, bro, I was like, like Peter is gone, Loyal is gone, but bro, I'm so glad that I still get to work with Henry. We did his big concert, and he's celebrating 50 years this year. You know what I mean? And
he's still active.
Still going, bro.
I know. I see him in commercials.
Bro,
everything.
He's going, bro. And he's such an hustler, bro. And he did it right. He just, he stayed focused, and he just like what IAM is doing, bro. He's staying true to himself. And I remember after my second album and winning all those hokus, calling up Henry and asking him, Henry, where do you think we should go from this point on? And he looked and he told me, this is what he told me. He said, Kelly boy, stick with what got you to where you at. Stick with it, bro. Just stick with what you're doing. And I've you know what I mean? I kept that in in my cap, that feather in my cap, and I have, you know what I mean? I just keep doing what I love to do. And I go tell you this right now, I don't play music for me. You know what I mean? I do play for our people. You know what I mean? I do play. When I come to one concert, I'm there for you. You know what I mean? I'm not there to showboat or act like I'm some big, you know what I mean, star and, oh, look at me and look at the kind, bro. I'm here. When you come to one Kapena concert, bro, you're going to leave singing. You know what I mean? Because I got them singing, bro. You guys, you know what I mean? I always join it because I like hear them sing.
Yeah.
I like hear them, you know what I mean? That's what I'm here for. I want you to, you know what I mean? That's what I'm here for, you know what I mean? And, I mean, it's never a grand production, bro, where Kelly Boy's standing at the back of the stage and the music is starting off, and then here comes Kelly Boy, the star of the, bro, I'm up there, I plug in my own wire. I sound check my own ukulele, you know what I mean, in front of everybody, you know what I mean, and this is who I am, you know what I mean, I come because of you. I'm here because you know what I mean, you bought one ticket, or you the kind, bro, I'm here to aloha you and thank you, you know what I mean? And that's my attitude always,
I love that. Yeah.
It's always about, you know what I mean, bro? It's never about me, you know what I mean? And I know different artists think different, you know what I mean? Because they're writers and they want, you know what I mean? it's a different kind, but that's just the way I roll. You know what I mean? And everybody, like you said, everybody on different way of raising their families or their careers and stuff like that. And that's just what, you know what I mean? I mean, we getting real here today, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So
you got it from
you know.
you got it from your dad, from the beginning, from that video that you saw Ron Wiley says that stuff about you. He humbled you real quick,
right.
kept you
and
in
I've always
check.
lived by those,
So it
by
stuck
those
with you.
things.
I can see your dad will be
It
proud.
really did, and I'm really grateful.
Awesome. Well, mahalo everyone for the Instagram questions. Make sure you leave some for our next guest, and maybe your question will make it on the podcast. And don't forget to be the aloha you wish to see in the world, just like our sponsor, Shakati.
Yes,
How you liking that?
bro, this thing is cool. I
Yeah.
got the passion orange guava.
Yeah, got a lot of flavors.
Oh, no.
I'll let you take some home after too.
Mm.
But I just want to get into the back half of the podcast, and you mentioned aloha in one of your answers towards the end of the Instagram questions. The podcast is called Keep It Aloha, and I like to ask my guests, what does Keep It Aloha? What does keeping it aloha mean to you?
Keeping it aloha is always being never forgetting where you came from. Always honoring the people that, you know what I mean, that paved the way for it. That's so important, Brian. I think the younger kids really have to remember that. Your kupuna and everybody that, your teachers, everybody that influenced you in life. People that touch your life. Even like I was talking about earlier, the musicians that are like, you know what I mean, the playlist of your life. You know what I mean? Like, going and just, you know what I mean, honoring them or just giving aloha, to them. And bro, that question, bro, can go on and on, and I can talk about it all day. But I think, in a nutshell, aloha is, receiving that, that gift of aloha that somebody has given to you and sharing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you get that embrace of aloha, don't just keep them for yourself. You know what I mean? It's not doing nobody else good. You know what I mean? You've received this gift, you know what I mean? Of aloha that somebody went, aloha you. But then, everybody you call it paying it forward. You know what I mean? Or sharing. You know what I mean? And I always say, when I'm at the Halekulani, I always say, folks, those of you visiting the islands, I said, take a little bit of that aloha spirit and spread it all over the world. Because I gotta tell you, bro, aloha gonna come from here.
Yep.
And because we are the state of aloha, and like what guys like IAM is doing, taking it to one bigger the kind, that's so cool. That is so, bro, it's like, you know what I mean? People that are in our lives, bro, I mean, like even pastors that I know, bro, we got one thread, bro, in our kind, bro. IAM is spreading aloha and taking aloha to the uttermost parts of the world right now. You know what I mean? Worldwide. And this is what aloha is, bro. But they always said, even before he was on stage, he says, something's going to happen. They're always telling, you know what I mean? There's something's going to happen that is just going to ignite. You know what I mean? And I feel that this is what's happening. It's like this, right? You know, we're seeing it happen.
Aloha will save the world.
Aloha going to save, thank you. Aloha is going to save the world. And bro, don't forget. You know what I mean? Don't have to act like anybody else in the different parts of the world or what they're doing or to get attention. Just be you and be aloha. You know what I mean? And love. You know what I mean? That's what we always been about.
Yeah.
You know, so
keep it aloha in that way. I love that. That's a beautiful response.
Yeah.
I love that. When you talked about, remembering our kupunas, giving respect to our ancestors, I thought about this picture I saw on Instagram a couple days ago about the ancestral math. Like how many people came before you just so you can be here. So I looked it up real quick. I was going to share it. So this is ancestral mathematics, okay? In order to be born, you needed 2 parents, 4 grandparents, 8 great-grandparents, 16 second great-grandparents, 32 third great-grandparents, 64 fourth great-grandparents, all the way, keeps going, to 2,048 ninth great-grandparents. So for you and I to be born today, from 12 previous generations, you needed a total of 4,094 ancestors over the last 400 years.
Wow.
So you got to think about all the things
The
that
lineage,
they've been
bro.
to. Yeah, all the struggles, how many difficulties they had to been
Right.
to. They had to go through, how many love stories, expressions they had, you know, all for us to be where we're at today. Like you mentioned, you had to go through the struggles of you being that Haole kid, getting bullied, and not being accepted as a Hawaiian.
Right.
But now your kids don't got to go through that,
Nope.
you know?
Nope,
And that's just
right.
because, not that it was never a problem, it's just because the people before us went through all those struggles so that we could live the life we live
Right.
today. So that's why we always talk about in the Hawaiian culture, honoring our kupunas
Yeah.
and never forgetting where we came from.
That's right. That's your
'Cause
lineage.
just
You know
like
what I
this.
mean? And you got to keep it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, you got to keep on pono. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love that. So if you weren't doing music, because you said this is your life.
Oh,
Like,
bro, I got
what-
a good question for that.
Well, what do you think you'd be doing?
Okay, so I always wanted to be like the puka shell tour guide.
I can see that.
So, bro, like when
driving
I was
the bus
yeah,
kind?
bro. So, bro, I actually, when we were playing at the Polynesian pub, I met this guy Francis, and he was driving for what was it? Something adventure. Shoot.
Polynesian Adventure.
Polynesian
Tours or
Adventure, that's
something.
it. Polynesian Adventures. He was driving for that, and he would stop his after he finished taking tourists around the islands and stuff like that. He would stop his kind, and I told him one night. I said, "Hey, Francis," I said, "Bro, that's such a cool job, bro. You get to." He goes, "Yeah, Kelly boy. You know, I teach. You know, I teach them about our island, our culture, and stuff like that." And I always thought that was something that I would really like to do, you know. So I was I think 18 at that time, and so what he did, he goes, "You know what? Would you like to kind? It's daytime and you still can play music at night." I said, "Bro, I would totally like to go try and go." So he brought one application for me. Not only that, but he brought me the test questions, you know. And some of the questions was like, you know what I mean? What does Waikiki mean? You know, like peaceful bay.
Yeah,
and, you know, if a tourist would ask you where to go to, you know, get pineapple, or, you know what I mean? Or where you can go to get shave ice
basic
and, you know, the kind of stuff. Where would you go? And, bro, I know this island, you know what I mean? Like the back of my hand, right? You know? I would, you know what I mean? So that was some of the questions. So, bro, I aced this thing. I think I got 99 questions right out of the 100. Filled out the job application, and I turned it in, and I checked the part that I wanted to be one tour driver, you know? And, bro, I literally got hired for like, you know what I mean? For like 1 minute.
And then what happened?
So the girl calls me and she goes, "Mr. Delima, we're overlooking your kind." And then Francis also gave me recommendation, like he went, you know, kind of, give his the kind, right? His aloha, you know, to it and whatnot. So the girl calls me, "Mr. Delima, okay, hey, you got the job." She tells me like that. I goes, "Nah," and I goes, "Yeah," and she goes, so she was going over. She says, going over the application. She goes, "Oh, wait, how old are you?" And I said, "Oh, I'm 18." And she goes, "Oh, brother, sorry. You want to be a driver?" And I said, "Yeah." And she goes, "You got to be," I think it was 19, bro. She said, "You got to be 19. I don't know why she wouldn't, I don't know. Anyway,
19's a weird number.
19 is
Yeah.
weird. So maybe 21.
Yeah.
And she said, "You got to be, you know," I thought it was 19 for some reason, but maybe, let's just say 21.
Yeah.
Let's go with 21. And she goes, "You got to be 21 for drive the van and stuff like that." And I was like, "Oh, snap, really?" And she goes, "Yeah, so sorry." She goes, "But hey, come back in a few years." But I never did. You know what I mean? I never did the kind.
Your
go back
career
to
took
it.
off too much. You couldn't go back after that.
I know. So yeah, that was always on passion. You know what I mean? Of, you know, maybe doing that. So yeah, to answer your question,
Could be a tour
Yeah.
guide, bus driver.
I even got my CDL license because later on I tried again, and I went to another company and I even got my CDL license and stuff like that, and because we was getting in one slow period in Kapena, and during the weekdays I figured I would go and you know, drive bus and stuff, and You know, just last year, bro, I lost my CDL license. I just, because you got to go physical every 2 years, and you had to do that. And I've been doing it for years, you know what I mean? And I said to myself, I think at this point in life, bro, I'm not going to be one bus driver.
Hey,
and
you never know.
So, right. So I was like, okay, I just give it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, that would have been,
That would have been it.
that's the long answer to your question.
Oh, super cool. Yeah. So, you've been playing music for 40 years, maybe?
Coming up on 40.
40
yeah,
years,
a few more years. Yeah.
So what's next for you?
Whatever, you know what I mean? Whatever the good Lord kind of places in front of us is next. Really, I think ever since the pandemic and stuff like that, we kind of switched gears, you know?
You got your music school.
Yeah. Well, it's actually my daughter Kapena that
okay.
started up the music school. So she has that. I was teaching for about a year and a half. You know, I enjoyed my time with all the little keiki. And right now, I think in my life, I'm kind of picking and choosing more what I want to do. You know, and not working the 5 nights a week in Waikiki. I do 1 night a week. Well, I do 2 nights now in Waikiki. And we're doing bigger shows, you know, like we're traveling a lot more and stuff like that.
Nice.
You know, we got Polynesian tour coming up, so we're going to be gone for 1 month, from September 1st to the 30th, 31st. And
you and your whole family?
yeah, the whole family.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah,
you guys get to go together.
we're going to Australia, New Zealand, the Solomon Islands. We're going to American and Western Samoa. We're going to Fiji. We're coming to Tahiti.
Wow.
Rarotonga. So that's gonna be one. So right now we're in the finalizations of a new Polynesian album. So we're singing in Samoan, Tongan.
Oh.
Yeah, it's called Destinations. We're doing original Hawaiian song. You know what I mean? Just to, you know, touch New Zealand. You know, Maori song, and you know what I mean. Just to touch every, you know what I mean, island and stuff like that. So we're kind of anxious to get this thing kind of out.
Yeah.
You
What's the hardest language for you to sing? They're all kind
you
of
know,
similar. That's why.
They're all similar. Yeah, they are. They're all similar. You know what I mean? Same pronunciation with the Tongan or the Samoan. Samoan is a little bit the kind. Is a little the kind. I gotta really practice, bro, and make sure that my daughter Lilo, her husband is Samoan, so he helps me out a lot. You know what I mean? You know.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. So, what is something you wish people knew about you that they don't?
That's a good question. I feel like my life is on display. You know what I mean?
For how many years?
Yeah, for so many years that people know so much about me. What people don't really know is that I don't have very many friends. You know that. You know, my friend is my wife, my wife Leo. We spend a lot of time together. You know what I mean? I'm not somebody that goes out and you know, parties and stuff like that. I'm a homebody, you know what I mean? Even though people is like, bro, you're everywhere. I was like,
that's business.
That's business. Yeah. It's, you know, but I like to stay home. I you know, I have, you know, people that I hang out with, I can count them on one hand, you know what I mean? My friend Kalai, is probably the guy that I kind of hang out with the most. I have really good friends, you know what I mean? But I'm not, you know what I mean? You know, maybe they don't know about that.
Yeah,
you know,
no.
People don't know that. Maybe they think that I'm this social guy and stuff like that. But, you know, I always told my kids, never ever mix, you know what I mean, business with pleasure. As far as, you know what I mean, like when we go to concerts and stuff like that, you know, when you go to concerts, you know, when we go, you're going to notice that we're going to come, you know what I mean, in plenty enough time, you know what I mean, we'll be there on time so that the promoters are not freaking out. But when we're finished, when we're done, everybody pack up and we're out. You know what I mean? Even when we fly out our island. Ever since the beginning of Kapena, bro, we whether we get hangovers or what kind, bro, we're on that 6 a.m. flight coming home. You know, that's just kind of, you know what I mean, something that I've raised my kids doing. I was like, bro, nothing good happens, you know what I mean, you know, after the show, you know what I mean, because everybody partying, and I mean, we've been in some situations where fights break out or something, because just people had too much, you know what I mean, and we don't want to be I don't want to be a part of that, you know what I mean, kind of stuff. That's another thing maybe they don't know about us. I mean, not that I'm on antisocial or anything. It's just that's where I'm comfortable, because when I leave my front gate, bro, I become the Publix, you know what I mean? And bro, you're not gonna meet one guy that, and you know what I mean, I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but bro, I get aloha for everybody. You know what I mean? And I go and say hello to everybody. If I walk in a room and somebody recognize me, I go up there and I go and say hello.
That just happened when you walked in today. I heard you outside.
Right, you know what I mean? So, you can always approach me. You know what I mean, bro? I don't, you know what I mean? My wife even gets mad at me sometimes because her and I might be arguing and somebody run into us. You know what I mean? And it was like, she gets so mad. She's like, you treat everybody so nice, but yet you know what I mean? You argue, you know what I mean? Oh, bro, she gets all bent. You know what I mean? I go, so what do you let me do? Treat them mean too? Because we're,
That's a good point.
So yeah, but when I go home, bro, I close the gate and it's like, bro, that's it, bro. I'm going to Netflix out. I'm going to chill. I'm going, you know what I mean? Just, so.
Awesome. So what is the most important lesson you've learned in your life from all these experiences as a musician, as a father, as a husband? What would you say, like, the one advice you want to give to everybody right now?
Oh man, my advice would be, treat people the way you would want to be treated. You know what I mean? Just, try to be the solution, you know what I mean, of things in life, you know what I mean, and not the, you know what I mean, the problem, you know what I mean.
You get enough problems, right?
Yeah,
you
get enough
solutions.
problems, yeah. And just, for me, bro, in these past couple of years, I just been kind of just trying to pull it back, you know what I mean, and be the dad, I guess, and the husband that my family will look at and they would be proud of, you know what I mean, because you can have all of this success and you can have all of this, you know what I mean, accolades in life and be just one crummy guy, you know what I mean, because people might look at you at one way and go, wow, Kelly boy, he's this and he's that and stuff like that, and you just be one total, you know what I mean, bomber at home, you know what I mean. And at one point of my life I was that, you know what I mean, like I was controlling, I'm very control, you know what I mean, over my family and stuff like that, and it was hard on the kids, you know what I mean, it was hard on my children, being that dad, you know what I mean. And I guess at this point now, bro, I've given it all up, I've relinquished it, bro. I have no control, you know what I mean. So instead of me trying to control, I just go to prayer, you know what I mean. I pray.
It's all out of your hands.
Yeah, it's like, you know what, Lord, you made them, you fix them, you tell them this, you know what I mean. And bro, prayers work. You know what I mean. I cannot control, because the control going to turn into anger. Anger is going to turn into division, you know what I mean. And division is no good for nobody, you know what I mean. So today, I'm a different person, bro. I'm a total different than the Kelly boy that was even just up to a couple of years ago. So yeah, that's what I do. So if there's any advice that I would give everybody, just, you know what I mean, you know what I mean, before you say anything that might, you know what I mean, kill somebody's spirit or whatever, just try hold your tongue and bite that tongue for a little while and just,
how would you feel
think
if
about
that person was saying
right.
what you're
think
saying
about
to
it,
them?
right? Because us local people fast them out, you know what I mean. It's like, bro, what, the kind. It's like, bro.
Slow to some other things, but when it comes to that, just
right,
quick,
So pull it back.
Okay, right on. Mahalo. All right, so before we end, I gotta know, what is your life hack?
Okay, explain to me the life hack now.
Okay,
I know you told me about that.
Yeah, it's just like something that makes your life easier, or something simple that somebody can do to make things more efficient, or even like a word of advice. So like, there's physical things where it's like, I put this thing on my frying pan so that oil doesn't splash, or like put lemon in the sink to make it smell better, whatever, when you put it down the garbage disposal. Or just like my one when I had long hair was save don't cut your hair and you save money on haircuts.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Stuff like that.
I guess mine would be a life advice. You know, for me, you know what I mean? And you take it or you leave it. But for me, I wish that I found the Lord earlier, you know, in my walk. You know, because God has really transformed my life into what it is today. You know, like I said, bro, you can gain the world and lose everything else. You know what I mean? Like, you know, for me, you know what I mean? I mean, the advice that I give young musicians coming up or people, you know what I mean, going through whatever, I says, bro, find God right away. You know what I mean? And in everything that you do, you know what I mean? Acknowledge him, because he's the giver of breath, first breath you take up in the morning, and the gift you have, you know what I mean? And the job you have, and be grateful, you know what I mean, for everything that you have, you know what I mean? And I guess for me, that's my go-to, bro. It's just, you know what I mean? I wish, you know what I mean? I wish I had this mentality at my age now, you know what I mean, when I was 20 or 30. But, you know, we got to go through our life. We got to go through our, you know what I mean, our ups and downs and stuff like that. You know, but I think today I live by, you know what I mean, the foundation that God has set inside of my life. You know what I mean? You know, whether you believe in God or not, you know what I mean? He believes in you. He always believed in me. You know what I mean? You know, and he's always waiting, you know what I mean, for you to, you know what I mean, acknowledge that. And it's not like it's a bed of roses and stuff like that. You still go through the hills and the valleys, but I think, you know, now he kind of is the one that, you know, kind of speaks in my ear and taps me on the shoulder. It's okay, brother. Settle down. You know what I mean? You're gonna get through this, and you know, this is a little trial that you go through and stuff like that. So yeah, I think, yeah, you know what I mean? Just search for yourself and ask God to be your guide. You know what I mean?
Awesome. Mahalo for sharing that.
Yeah.
You know, for people who, you know, are religious and believe in that, like,
I mean, because I tried everything else, Akamaka.
Yeah.
You know, I tried the drugs and I tried the kind, and bro,
life
that
experience
was
right
yeah,
there.
you know what I mean, bro. This is living now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm living now. You know, I can see the fruits all around me now. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? Why would I want to just keep that for myself? You know, it's like
Like you
Aloha.
said, exactly.
Share it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, share.
You know, I go share with you what the secrets that unlocked all of my, you know what I mean, my doors. That was, you know what I mean? You know, that was, you know what I mean, was corrupting me or holding me back in whatever, you know. Now, bro, I just see it in, you know, I mean, back in those days, I look at it like this, like I was seeing in black and white, bro. But now that I have God in my life, bro, I see everything in color. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy, bro. You know, like, wow. You know, wow, that was one prayer that was answered. You know what I mean? Like, you know, and wow, you know what I mean? Wow, this was like my grandson, you know what I mean? He's our drummer. He's 11 years old.
That's what I hear.
And I was like,
that's crazy.
how one little 11-year-old is gonna, you know what I mean? But bruh, you know, I prayed that, you know, God would, you know, use him and we could use him, you know what I mean, for our group and stuff. And he's doing wonderful, you know. Hey, he keeps the beat. That's all. You know what I mean? You know, all the flashy stuff he can work on as he gets older. You know what I mean? But you know, he holds it down. You know what I mean? Even that is like answer to prayer. You know what I mean? So that's just an example.
Awesome. Mahalo. Super cool. I gotta watch you guys perform live.
Yeah.
Okay, I just got my last fast Fave 5 questions. Okay, so just rapid fire answers.
Okay.
Favorite post performance snack?
Oh.
Right after you, Paul, what you eating?
Oh, bro. In-N-Out burgers.
That's if you're in California.
Right. That's what we ate in Vegas last weekend. So I was like, okay. Yeah, when we're traveling, In-N-Out burgers.
Okay.
But here, I don't know, bro. That's not hard on water, bro. I just need water.
Thirsty after, throat are dry.
Thirsty, yeah.
Okay. Favorite place to perform?
Oh, I love the Waikiki Shell because that's where it all started. That's
awesome.
fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Favorite song to cover?
Oh, shucks. Oh, I like John Mayer stuff. Like Your Body is a Wonderland.
Nice.
I love that one.
Yeah. He's always awesome. Okay, favorite hobby?
My favorite hobby is I like paddle boarding.
Oh,
I love
nice.
to paddleboard.
Nice.
Yeah.
Where are you going?
I
Like
go
the
down
bay?
to the kind marine land here at Ala Moana.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, I was a surfer when I was younger, but now you know what I mean. Gotta be standing in the
It's
standing
good
up
workout.
position.
It's
Yeah,
a good
yeah,
workout. Awesome.
yeah.
Okay, and last one. Favorite TV show?
Favorite TV show? I like the Property Brothers. I like the building kind shows.
The competition kind?
No. The Property Brothers are the two brothers, the two twins that restore homes and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Any of those kind of stuff that they restore homes
like
and stuff.
the kind of rebuild your
HGTV,
home, and
I
then
think
they
is.
show you the review
Right,
after. I
right.
remember watching that growing up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then like exploring Alaska, I like that kind of stuff. You know,
Okay.
On Discovery Channel
Oh,
and Netflix and all that kind. Yeah, I
Super
like that
cool.
kind of stuff.
Okay, well, mahalo for coming on and talking stories, playing some ukulele, singing some
Yeah,
songs.
you're welcome.
It's been really fun, and
Thanks, Kamaka.
I appreciate everything you've done for Hawaii in the last, however, 40 plus years.
Well, thank you to our beautiful people, man.
Yes.
You know, I mean, it's all them. You know what I mean? That support and what a
Really
network, bro. To be, you know what I mean, bro? The 808,
Connections,
man,
connections,
connection, bro.
yeah.
They just, bro. If they just embrace you, and you know what, bro? That stuff doesn't just only stay here in Hawaii, bro. We can be in Alaska, bro, playing, and bro, the connection is still.
Yeah.
Live and the kind. We're in Las Vegas, bro, and you could feel, you know what I mean, that, and San Diego, you know what I mean, and all over where we travel, it's like unreal, bro.
Yeah, right on. Well, where can we find you?
We're on Kapena Music on Instagram. We're also and Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we're on IG and Facebook and.
Hey, look at that. You got them. IG. Yeah,
I know. So www.kapena.com is our email as well.
Yeah. Tech savvy, this guy right here.
Hey, bro, gotta keep up with you guys, bro.
Yeah. Well, any
Jeez.
final words you want to say before we
Just
wrap
thank
up?
you to all of you guys that work so hard on the EM video, and thank you to all of the people of Hawaii. Just I cannot thank them enough. You know what I mean? It's because of you guys that we still here.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And we know that, and I always want to acknowledge that.
Awesome.
Yeah, and all the musicians, all you guys out there, man, making music, and taking Hawaii to the uttermost parts, man. I mean, thank you.
Right on.
It's a circle of life, man. It's a circle of life.
Circle of aloha.
Of aloha. That's right.
Right on. Well, mahalo, Kelly Boy, for joining us on the Keep It Aloha podcast. Spread aloha, be kind to one another, and mahalo for listening to us today. We have new episodes every Thursday, so make sure you follow us and leave a review. I'm your host, Kamaka, and remember to always keep it aloha.
Aloha.